Welcome to the realm of unholy craftsmanship. In this guide, we will explore the creation of a sinister and atmospheric demonic altar using foam and foam core. This project is perfect for D&D, wargames, or for people that just want to add a touch of infernal look to their decor. This demonic altar will have cool-looking features, ominous symbols, and a foreboding presence that will send shivers down to the spines of all who behold it. By utilizing affordable and easy to work with materials like foam and foam core, we will demonstrate how to construct an amazing looking piece without struggling too much. Throughout these tutorials, we will cover different techniques, and I will show you how you can improvise a hot knife for carving foam. Whether you're a seasoned crafter or a beginner, this project will allow you to unleash your dark creativity and create a centerpiece that sure will impress and terrify your gaming mates. So gather your unholy tools, summon your inner demon, and let's begin this journey into the deeps of frog-making depravity. Great, let's head to the computer to prepare some templates. I should mention that this time I designed them but ended up cutting the pieces by measuring as I went along. Either way, I will leave links in the description so you can download them for free. I want this altar to be quite tall, and since the insulation boards I have are 4 cm thick, I'm going to glue 2 pieces together using PVA glue and toothpicks. I want the main shape to be octagonal, so I will use a proxon jig from shiftinglines.com. I've also prepared templates for those who don't have this equipment or want to use other materials, link in the description. With the glue partially dried to make the cutting easier, we will make several passes with the hot wire cuttle until we have cut the 8 sides. As you can see, it gives a great finish. For now, we will let the piece dry a bit while we continue with other parts of the project. Let's move on to the stairs. I cut a foam rectangle and slice it into 1 cm pieces. Then, we will cut opposite pieces to form the steps. You will understand what I mean with the template. We were going to texture all the pieces before gluing them together because once assembled it will be much harder to do this step. Next, we will carefully apply PVA glue to stick all the steps in order. We will use a flat surface to align all the pieces and let them dry. Now it's time to make a small railing. For this, I've cut a very thin XPS foam sheet and made the necessary cuts with an utility knife. This piece is also in the templates you will find in the pinned comment and video description. We will cut a second identical piece and texture both using the foil wall. Apply glue to the stair sides and carefully attach the railings, placing a weight on them while they dry. I had to make some extra cuts after a few design changes I had in mind. I also add smaller pieces to give more detail to the stairs and use a couple of nails to ensure the structure was solid. I later disguised these nails with a bit of filler. Alright, let's continue. Now we will texture the main piece. Then I cut 7 sheets to which I also applied texture with the foil ball. Finally, using an old brush to spread PVA glue on the back of the sheets we just cut, we will stick them to the sides of the main piece. This way we will cover the seam and add another layer of detail. You can use pins to ensure the pieces stay in place while the glue dries. Once the bonding is done, we will trim the edges on the side without the sheet to make room for the stairs. We will glue them in place with glue and toothpicks to create a strong bond. Next, I decide to apply filler to all the seams to cover any joints or gaps, giving the piece a much more unified appearance. While the filler dried, I started working on the next details. I've cut an XPS foam strip, then make an angle cut and finally cut 7 slices. This way, we have buttresses for our altar. As always, we will texture them to simulate stone appearance. Then I use some plastic skulls I have lying around in my bits and scraps box. Instead of gluing them directly, I press them into the foam to create a small indentation to fit the skull. Once the indentation was made, I glued each skull in the place with a drop of glue. Finally, we glue the buttresses in place with some glue and half toothpick which I sharpened with a knife. Great, we've made a lot of progress already. Now we're going to use quite different techniques to make the altar horns. I'm going to base this on a method I used to make Harry Potter magic wands for a theme party a while ago. But before we continue, let me say that if you're enjoying this video and want to support my channel, hit the like button and consider subscribing. You can also visit my itch.io page where you will find one-page adventures and hand-drawn maps that you can download completely for free and use it in your own campaign. Let's continue! Now let's add some giant demonic horns to the altar to give it a more evil look. For this we will use wire, and I've cut 4 pieces about 50 cm long. We will fold them in half and using pliers and a rod, pencil or any similar object twist both ends together. Then we will bend the pieces into a curved shape, resembling the letter C. We will give the horns more body using aluminum foil, twisting and compressing it until it forms something similar to a horn. Now, if I paint this red, it will look like the chili pepper. To fix that, we will cover everything with hot glue. We will try to add texture, making extra passes over any areas that are too smooth with the gun's tip. When the glue is hot, it's hard to see if you covered everything properly, so you will need to go over all the pieces once the glue has cooled. If there's any glue strings, you can quickly pass a lighter's flame over them to make them disappear. I painted these pieces with spray paint since hot glue isn't the best material to apply acrylic paint on. This way we can paint more easily when the time comes. Remember to wear a mask and work in a well-ventilated area whenever using spray paint. Let's continue. We're going to texture the top part of the altar. I hadn't done this earlier because I was still unsure about how I wanted to approach this section. Next we will glue matchsticks cut to size around the piece, leaving an opening on the stair side. You can do this with a compass, but I use a random lead I had lying around to draw a circle. Then I use adhesive gems, which you've seen in my other videos, to add some extra detail. Now we are going to draw an inverted pentagram. The first time I didn't get the proportions right, so I had to redraw it. Just in case, I've left a template in the downloadable file in the description. Alright, this step can be done with a foam hot knife. This is another tool I'd love to have someday, but here is a cheap yet effective alternative. I attach a piece of wire, the same kind we use for the horns, to a piece of foam and secure it with tape. Then you just need to hit the tip over a candle flame and slowly draw the design. It's not the fastest method, but it's a great option if you don't have the right tool. Now it's time to attach the horns to the altar. First, I push them in to make sure I like the positioning. Then remove them to add glue before reinserting them. This is also the moment to make any small adjustments if needed, since these pieces are still somewhat malleable. Once you are happy with the result, let everything dry a bit and then we will add some filler. This step isn't absolutely necessary, but it will help the joints between the horns and the altar look smoother. Let everything dry thoroughly and we will be done with the building phase. We've just finished the construction phase and I'm quite excited about how it's going to turn out, and I'm really looking forward to see how it looks painted. At this point, I still have some doubts about the color scheme I'm going to follow, but what I'm sure is that I want red to be present. Get your paints ready and let's see how we do it. Alright, as always, we will start by priming with black acrylic paint mixed with PVA glue. I'm not sure what happened to the video where I applied the coating, but anyway, it's straightforward. Just a couple of layers over the entire piece. Once dry, we will paint the whole piece, except the horns, with a heavy dry brush of neutral grey. I used a couple of brushes of different sizes to reach all the nooks and crannies. Next, we will apply a heavy dark brown dry brush to the horns. Then, we will prepare a richly pigmented blood red wash. We will use this to paint the pentagram, making sure to cover the surface surrounding the grooves while also filling the crevices with the wash. We will also paint splatters across the piece, focusing especially on the steps. This will serve as an undertone to simulate all dried blood, but don't worry, we will tone down the saturation later. We will also apply a light dry brush of lighter brown to the horns to highlight all the texture we created with the hot glue. Now we apply a very light dry brush of white, paying special attention to the edges. In hindsight, I think I overdid it a bit, but now we will use some washes to tone it down. As a detail, we will paint the rivets with bright gold to make them stand out a bit. We will also dry brush the skulls embedded in the buttresses with bone color. Since everything was looking a bit too bright, I prepared two dark washes to simulate dirt and grime. We will apply this using the same brush to create a wet blend effect, focusing mainly on the corners and crevices. We will try to apply it from top to bottom, letting the paint run down. This will tone down the colors and simulate wear and dirt. So at the end, I decide to give another layer of red ink to accentuate the effect. And once this has dried, it will be time for some cool shots. And there you have it, folks, our demonic altar is complete, standing as a testament to the dark arts and your crafting skills. From its ominous base to its wicked horns, every detail screams unholy power. I hope you have enjoyed this journey into the realm of sinister prop making. Remember, the techniques we have used here can be applied to a wide range of projects, so let your imagination run wild. If you have any suggestions or have any questions about the process, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and know what you will make different. I would love to hear your thoughts and know what you would make different. Don't forget to like the video if you find it helpful and subscribe to the channel for more crafting tutorials. Until next time, may your dice rolls be blessed by the demon lords themselves.